And travel to Chapel Hill to battle North Carolina. The Tar Heels coming off a one-point victory over Maryland yesterday. Well, boxing and golf ahead, certainly one of the premier games of the season, coming up in just a few minutes when fifth-ranked North Carolina plays host to top-ranked Temple. John Chaney's Owls hoping to dispel any doubts about their #1 status. Both teams almost upset this week. Temple by Penn State and the Tar Heels by Maryland yesterday. Should be a playoff atmosphere at the Dean Dome. Now, there was one upset last night in North Carolina. We'll see you at the head.
At age 50, John Chaney earned a Division I head coaching job. Temple University wisely picked Chaney, and now the Owls are the first ever Philadelphia team to be ranked #1. Chaney's attitude demands no court emotion while showing all discipline. And Mike Breeswick, Tim Perry, Howie Evans, and Ramon Rivas, starters from last year, have answered, as has the freshman Mark Macon. Macon, the 6'5" guard from Saginaw, Michigan, is Chaney's first blue-chip recruit. The 18-year-old virtuoso leads the nation's freshmen in scoring, averaging nearly 20 points a game. Macon, in Chaney's words, is the type who can keep us dancing. Today in Chapel Hill, #1 Temple will see all blue, as in Carolina blue. Dean Smith's North Carolina Tar Heels are currently ranked 5th in the nation, and this will be a serious litmus test for #1. And North Carolina, 20-3, 18 straight years with 20 wins, an NCAA record, and 21,444 here in the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill are looking for a rare situation reversed. North Carolina is trying to beat #1. Today from the Dean Smith Center on the campus of North Carolina, NBC Sports presents the best in college basketball. It's John Chaney's Temple Owls, 21-1 and #1 in the nation, against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Dean Smith's team is 20-3. Today's game is brought to you by Pontiac Grand Prix, the 1988 Motor Trend Car of the Year. By Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. By Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better than Mr. Goodwrench. No one. And by Kellogg's Corn Flakes. What more could you want from a cereal? Welcome to North Carolina and the test for #1, the Owls of Temple. Mid-February, and this is a March measure. How good is Temple and North Carolina? They say they like the idea. They're in the case of being the hunter instead of the hunted. It is a turnaround. Dick Enberg with Al McGuire. Welcome aboard. Coach, during the course of the week, both teams played at home, and both teams won by only 1 point. Temple over Penn State. Yesterday, Carolina beat Maryland.
Well, it wasn't important. You know, the only important game was in the Atlantic 10 against Penn State, and it's very important yesterday against Maryland. This game is not important. This game is only for who gets seeded #1 in the East Regional. This game is nothing. Look, there's nobody even here.
That's a coach talking and knowing very well how truly important this is as each team tests against the other. Turnovers could be a key to the game. For Temple, that's part of Chaney's discipline. Don't give the ball away. They've led the nation 2 years last year and are leading again this year.
Listen up to this, Dick. If the Owls turn the ball over 14 times, they'll be in Tapioca, Tap City.
Tapioca. And of course, Dean Smith very well will try to force the mistakes of Temple, take them out of their character. Should be an interesting test for both the Temple Owls and the North Carolina Tar Heels, and it will battle inside. It'll be the last year's freshman of the year, J.R. Reed, against Mark Macon, who is the top freshman this year. Which youth will be served in Temple? John Chaney in his 6th year, now 56 years of age. Well, he's got his tie knotted carefully. What do you say, Coach, about a 4-button drop before the game is over?
I would say about 10 seconds into it, it goes down to the second button.
Here's the starting lineup for the Owls, who are 21-1, as we said, the first time ever that already down a button. That Philadelphia team collegiately has been #1 in the nation. Their lineup: for the lineup. As you look at Cheney pacing, there it is, Mike Breezewick and Tim Perry. Perry is an excellent shot blocker. Ramon Rivas is 260 pounds in the paint. Mark Macon, the brilliant freshman. Howard Evans, one of the best assist men in the nation, the senior guard. For North Carolina, 20-3, the 18th straight year that Dean Smith's team has won 20 or more, an NCAA record. Bucknell from London, England. J.R. Reed, the outstanding sophomore. Scott Williams had one of his best games ever yesterday against Maryland. Jeff Lebo and Ranzino Smith. Remember, those two guards late in the game shoot free throws as well as any pair in the nation. And there is Dean Smith, the Hall of Famer, in his 27th year here at Carolina. North Carolina gets the ball off the tap. This is Lebo. Junior guard with an eye toward the Olympics into Bucknell, a junior. How he has improved here at Carolina. At this point, Perry is matched up against Scott Williams and Rivas against Reed. But that's a matchup zone. And a steal by Macon. He knocked it away from Ranzino Smith. And on top of everything else, Macon, a great scorer, leads the Owls in steals. Evans inside to Breezewick. A jump hook is short. Gets it back over Reed. And it won't fall. Ranzino takes it away from the big guys. J.R. not there. Macon with a rebound. And Temple senior guard Howard Evans from West Philadelphia High School brings it in. He's number 3 in the nation in assists, averaging over 9 a game. Macon's first shot, way off the mark, and Reed rips down the rebound. Ranzino, cut off by Perry. Reed into the paint. J.R. Reed, and Carolina scores first.
One of the things the fans should pay attention to now, Temple plays a zone. Now, if they fall behind, they're going to be forced to play man-to-man, and they're not an adequate man-to-man team. So they got to always stay in the hunt.
Perry rattles it home. Perry, who was 0 for 8 against Penn State earlier in the week, hits his first shot.
Inside the Temple zone now, they will favor J.R. Reed and Lebo. They try to stop them in the matchup zone. They'll pass them on verbally.
The lob to Reed is short. Breezewick rebounds. Here comes Macon breaking out. 2-on-2. Whoops. Ran into Ranzino. No whistle. And Reed gets the rebound. It's tied at 2. 2 minutes gone. Scott Williams. Not there, and a foul.
Again, Temple has a very thin bench stick. They can't have anybody foul out. Their rotation doesn't go any deeper than 7 or 8.
That's the first foul on the big center, Rivas, from Puerto Rico, a senior. And at the line is Scott Williams. Williams from Hacienda Heights, California, averaging 12 a game. First Dean Smith recruit from the West Coast in 25 years. Perry with a rebound. It remains 3-2 Tar Heels. That's Bucknell.
A lot of bumping and grinding down low with Reed and Perry.
And the foul on Bucknell against Macon, as Bucknell, an excellent defender, has been assigned to slow down the outstanding freshman. Here it is.
He starts on the inside. A lot of poise, pro moves. But the key that Dean Smith has done is put an extra tall man on him, which takes away a lot of his game.
Breezewick from the corner, and he is fouled, and that'll send Breezewick to the line. J.R. Reed's first foul. Breezewick goes to the line for Temple. I liked his quote and his admiration for his coach, Cheney. He said, if coach says a flea can pull a plow, we say, hitch him up, coach. Tied at 3-all on his first point. He's from Mooresville, Pennsylvania, was an outstanding high school guard at 6'7", almost got his own rebound, went right by him, and Scott Williams picks it up. Tied at 3, 2.5 minutes gone.
Watching Lebo as much as they can.
Scott Williams on an assist from JR.
Carolina should start with their trapping just about now. They're playing soft on D.
Macon working away from the ball. A three-pointer not there. He's missed his first 3 shots. Reed with his 3rd rebound.
Temple a little bit too fast for the Owls.
Williams left alone. He has 5 of Carolina's 7 points.
You got to remember now, the referees here today, they're what you call a marriage. These 3 referees work both the Atlantic 10 and the ACC Conference.
I didn't see what happened on the inbounds pass. Perhaps a violation by Temple. And so Carolina gets the basket and the ball back. It was a foul. That's it. A foul by Macon. 7-3 North Carolina. Branzino trips over Macon. That was incidental, and it's the 2nd foul on Mark Macon. So he has started slowly. The freshman missing 3 straight shots and has 2 quick fouls.
They're playing off speed. They want to favor Lebo.
Branzino Smith stolen by Evans. Evans misses the shot. No foul.
That's got John Chaney up off the bench.
Scott Williams blocked by Perry. Reed controls. I'll tell you, Evans and Macon in the front of that matchup zone have mighty quick hands.
Well, they're pickpockets. If it's a soft pitch in North Carolina, their backcourts are half a step slow. And Jeff Lebo's not a true point guard. He's a number 2 player, an off guard. Evans will come over to Lebo quickly if the ball comes around. Here comes Evans out on him. Watch Evans move up.
So the number 1 team, Temple, in 4 minutes and 15 seconds has only 3 points. Shot clock down to 6. Lebo has to shoot. Not there. And touched last by Bucknall as he knocked it away from Rivas. And we have a timeout. With 15:36 left, there is the fighting head coach of the Temple Owls, John Chaney. His team starts slowly, trailing by 4. It's an interesting matchup. North Carolina in the 80s has been in the top 3 the last 4 years, and this one in shooting offense, and they're second this year to BYU. Temple, meanwhile, is number 1 in the nation currently. Field goal percentage defense, allowing only 39% of the shots against them made. And thus far in this game, Carolina is shooting 3 for 7, and Temple only 1 for 7. And timeout. No, they didn't beat the 5-second count, and Temple turns it over. There's one of the turnovers. Kevin Madden, 22, and Pete Chilcutt, 32, are in for North Carolina. No changes for Temple.
Stay in their zone.
Madden left alone. He's been hot, and it's 10-3. 3-pointer for Madden off the bench. Macon over Bucknall, and the freshman has his first point.
Wow, that's unbelievable. They set the freshman down on the box. Unbelievable. So when it gets down to crunch time, they need a basket, which they did then. It goes to the freshman, Macon.
Well, Chaney has indicated that. He wants the freshman to have the ball when they need it. Reed, great fake, and then that'll be traveling.
A surprise that happened that time. What happened is that Tim Perry went up and caught the ball with his foot, which created the walk.
That's Perry Sky. It was his, although he scored only 1 point against Penn State. He saved the game on the final shot by the Lions and could have won it with a brilliant block.
Tough defense, but it's all his.
Bucknall on Evans now. Perry over Reed. Hits 2 out of 2 for Tim Perry, and Carolina's lead cut to 3.
Tim Perry's good, up to about 10, 12 feet.
There's some feel in the Philadelphia area that Georgetown's John Thompson may just pick him for the Olympic team, or at least get a chance at the final 48 in the tryouts.
Well, John Thompson likes anyone that plays defense, and Tim Perry plays it.
Madden to Lebo to Bucknall. And traveling on Bucknall. Started his move before the ball on the floor.
The last two turnovers that put the Temple Owls back in the ball game.
Evans on the trap, and Macon left alone and hits it. Oh, what a pass by Evans. Down to 10-9, Carolina's lead. Lebo whistle away from the ball, and he was out of bounds. Lebo, as he set up for the jumper, apparently placed his foot across the line. Here's Macon.
He goes up, he doesn't go in the front door, he turns around and comes in the back door, looking possibly for a three-point play. But Chilcutt did not move in on him.
So Temple down 10-3, scoring 6 unanswered points, and a chance for the lead for John Chaney's Owls. See King Rice, number 21 in the game for the first time. He's on Evans. Rieswick. And he was fouled. Madden got him with a free arm.
I believe that's the third foul on North Carolina.
It is 3 against Temple thus far. Turnovers, 4 against Carolina, 2 charged to Temple. Freshman Rich Fox comes in.
Dean Smith kick is making his moves for the second half. Keeping fresh players in there, hoping to wear down the Owls for the second half.
Rieswick ties it at 10. Temple has not led in the game thus far, and here's a chance for Rieswick.
Here's a new look. He figures they're going to get the rebound if he misses anyway.
So Temple on top for the first time at the 13:33 mark.
Inside that zone, they better favor Madden here. He's the best outside shooter. Inside, they'll overplay Scott Williams.
Rice to Madden. 2 freshmen on the floor for North Carolina. There's one of them, Fox, and he throws it away through the hands of Chilcutt, a sophomore. So the 2 freshmen. There are 2 sophomores. 3 sophomores. What a young team for Dean Smith. 2 Frosh and 3 sophomores on the court right now.
That team will not be in there 90 seconds from now.
Evans hanging and scoring his first hoop. It's 13-10 Temple. And that is 10 unanswered points for the Owls.
There's not enough experience out there with this club for North Carolina.
Turnover again. No, Fox saves it. And the whistle. It'll be Temple's ball on the possession arrow.
All right, Dean, you got 70 seconds. I said 90. 20 we used up. You've got to move those guys back in, Dean. Can't fool around with this game.
Here's the turnover table, and Temple a +5.
Double stack down low, favoring Macon.
Tried to trap Macon with that double team. Rieswick for 3. Rebound Rivas. Takes it back to the hoop and scores. Ramon Rivas. And that's a dozen straight for Temple. From 10-3 North Carolina to 15-10 favoring Temple.
No key scorer out there outside of Williams.
Scott Williams is short, gets his own rebound, dribbles it off his foot, and it'll be out of bounds to North Carolina. Rieswick was lying across the baseline as he had possession. We have a timeout here in Chapel Hill. Just under 12 minutes to go in the first half. John Chaney's #1 team, #1 Temple, and John Chaney. Vivian Stringer and John Chaney were co-coaches at Chaney State outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania at the same time in the 70s. Chaney led the Wolves to the NCAA Division II championship, and because of the conditions, he would work at one end of the court and Stringer's women's team at the other end. They used the same offenses and defenses, practiced against each other, and here they're both #1 now in Division I. What a story. 15-10, Temple leads it on a run of 12 straight points against North Carolina. Darren Pearsall, number 11, is in for the first time for Temple. That's the first substitute used by Cheney. Lebo from 3. Jeff Lebo, who has a better percentage as a three-point shooter, 50%, and from inside the line, where he's shooting in the mid-40s.
As I told you, the Stars have come back in. I had 20 seconds to spare. Obviously, JR's back in there, and Lebo.
Evans from way outside hits the back of the rim. Lebo to Ranzino. Ranzino, he can pop him from 3. Back-to-back by Lebo and Smith. 6 points on 2 shots, and just like that, Carolina leads by 1.
Ranzino Smith will be allowed to take the shot. Lebo will not.
Rieswick working the baseline, sets up Rivas, and a foul on Reed. Maybe not. Let's check it. It is not on Reed.
It's on Williams.
Got Williams first. Oh, for those wonderful days when they raised their hand. Rieswick. And now Evans will bring it out and set it up. Trailing by 1. Rivas back to Evans. Rivas, boy, look at the bodies inside, and Reed blocks him. And now dual possession, and the arrow points in Carolina's favor. Boy, you figure that Rivas and Reed, you've got about 500 pounds in the paint in those 2 men alone.
They're sumo wrestlers. Talk about bumping underneath.
Apparently they gave Ranzino Smith only 2 points on his shot. His foot was on the line, so it's tied at 15.
Ranzino Smith is free. That's a pass.
Now Lebo, the 3-point try. J.R. Reed, he's got a bunch of rebounds. Ranzino, and it's stolen by Evans. Boy, you can hear a slap that time. Evans all alone. Oh, he misses everything. That's not the kind of shot Cheney likes.
Now he's upset with that. He should have pulled up and waited for his teammates to come down court.
Ranzino for 3. They're not afraid to try it. Bucknall with a rebound. Another chance for Carolina. Tied at 15. 9.5 minutes left first half. Bucknall. And a reach-in foul against Rieswick. His first. Team's 4th. Each team with 4.
Had their little meeting at the foul line. Decide what defense to play. That's what they normally talk about. Some guys cannot set off defense off a foul shot because they think too much of the defense and it hurts their foul shooting.
Bucknall breaks the tie for North Carolina. Ranzino goes out, and Kevin Madden returns for the Tar Heels.
Let's see this time if he makes the foul shot, if there's pressure up court. There should be.
Bucknall, who has become a fine free throw shooter, 78%.
There's the pressure. They'll attack at half court, most likely double team. John Beer comes up with Madden. There's a double team.
And Evans cruelly played it well. Pearsall's first shot banks in. Don't think he had that in mind.
No, that was a prayer. That's the way Elgin Bailey used to play him. Off the glass.
Got a nice kiss. Scott Williams with an easy answer at the other end. 9 minutes to go, first half. And we're seeing a brilliant freshman in Macon today, although being rested at the moment. Pearsall in for Macon. And by Reed. Saved by Evans. Back to Pearsall. Blocked again!
Boy, did Madden go upstairs the second time. Active.
Listen to this crowd. And they're quieted on the whistle as Lebo called for the foul, his first.
Dean is saying that Evans played out with his inside arm. Here goes JR upstairs, all leather. Now watch Madden come in the second reject in-your-face basketball. Here comes Madden. Up, 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 and away.
Temple, 19-17. Carolina leads. Coswell is in for the first time as Rieswick can't hit the three-pointer.
Constant zone of Temple. Matchup.
J.R. Reed over Perry. Hits it. 4 points for Reed. Carolina by 4.
That's a difficult shot. Tim Perry was flying at him.
Inside to Coswell, who hits it. Dwayne Coswell, who is the heir apparent in the middle to Rivas. He's just a sophomore.
He was Proposition 48 last year. He's from Queens Village. That's where my wife is from. Queens Village, New York.
Reed sets up Lebo. Misses everything. Coswell with a rebound. And Macon's still on the bench, Coach.
I think he's sitting because I think he was throwing the ball more than he was shooting it. They'll bring him back in soon.
Inside Perry. And a reach-in foul, Madden.
After this, it's 1-1.
There's John Chaney and Dean Smith. Dean Smith came to Carolina by way of the Air Force Academy, was an assistant to Frank McGuire, and got the job as the head man here. Chaney coached in junior high school after playing 10 years in the Eastern League, and not till age 50. Welcome back to Chapel Hill and the Dean Dome. We're talking about John Chaney not getting his chance until he was 50 years old. To just give you a contrast, Al McGuire, when he won the national championship and quit coaching, was 47.
Well, the relation I like to make to it, Vince Lombardi, the great football coach, all that frustration, never got his break to about age 46 or 47. Never a head coach. Well, the same with Coach John Chaney. Can you imagine all those years waiting and saying, will my break ever come? Will it ever come?
Patience is a virtue.
Possess it if you can. Seldom in a woman, but always in a man.
Remember, Al McGuire said that. 7 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the first half. Number 5, Carolina, leading number 1, Temple, by a bucket. Macon is still on the bench. Grieswick still can't hit a three-pointer. He's the key to the game, said John Chaney. He has to hit those shots.
He loosens you up inside.
He's 0 for 5, or Temple is 0 for 5. There's a tip in by Madden. Kevin Madden.
Extremely talented athlete. Hasn't had his moment in the sun yet at Carolina.
Pearsall playing for Mark Macon. He's not afraid to shoot. Terry misses the tip. Madden brings it down for North Carolina.
Wait for Ramon. Here comes Ramon.
Reed has it knocked away, but a foul. Pearsall reaching in. He's a junior from Chester, Pennsylvania. John Chaney perhaps thinking about that last tip in. Here it is.
On the weak side of the basket, Madden comes in, gets inside position. You see the ball dance around. There it goes in from the tip.
Madden goes out. King Rice is there, and Mark Macon being rested considerably.
You're just going to get your head straight, Mark. Maybe you tried too hard. Next time out, you show what it's all about.
Macon, who is the only Owl to score in double figures in every game this year, has 4, but has not played for about 7 minutes. Inside at Chilcutt. That leaves Lebo alone for 3. Jeff Lebo hits the home run again. That's the biggest hit of the game.
John Chaney, you got to come in with your freshman star now.
Evans for 3.
Oh, what a big basket. Big, big, big for the people that want that soft pretzels with mustard on. Philadelphia, the cheesesteak sandwiches with onions.
For some.
For me.
Rice setting up Reed. Lebo, another three-pointer. Look at that Bucknall fight for the offensive boards. Rice, a rare shot. And that's going to be on Bucknall over the back, I believe. No, going to go the other way. Rivas of Temple. clearing out his second.
Ramon Rivas does the best he can. He's a space eater. He gets the job done. He's not a Super Bowl player. He's out of Puerto Rico. Played 1 year in Puerto Rico. And he watched Temple play against North Carolina in the Eastern NCAA. And sent a letter. Wanted to come to Temple.
He's worked his way through the difference in language, and one of the most popular players on the team with his own teammates. Knocked away by Evans. There's those quick hands. And then
J.R. Reed reached in and committed a foolish foul.
His second. Retaliation foul after losing the ball, and that is the 7th on Carolina. So Temple shoots the 1-and-1. The next Temple foul will put the Heels in the bonus. At the line, Dwayne Coswell, the tallest of the Owls, 6'11".
You'll notice, like, you won't see Tim Perry there. What Coach John is doing is putting his taller men back down court so Carolina can't break off the missed or made foul shot.
Breezewick gets the garbage basket, and it's 26-24.
He needed a garbage basket to get into sync. Jeff is free.
Lebo again. Reed! Oh, my!
Outstanding, JR. Outstanding. That was a tough dunk.
Breezewick tries again from 3. And what a bounce!
All he needed was that last basket. Get on the roll. Second team's the basket knows, the ball knows, everybody knows.
8 points for Breezewick, a block by Perry.
That's one of his big weapons, blocking shots.
He's 7th in the NCAA and shots blocked with a total of 72.
Here comes JR after missed shot off Lebo. All timing.
Frantino Smith and Lebo will get a rest for Carolina. 4 minutes, 51 seconds left in the half, a 1-point game.
Now, Coach Chaney must be very, very upset with Mark Macon.
Ooh, almost deflected into an intercept. Reed to Scott Williams. Blocked, but a foul on Perry, I believe.
Holes in the zone of the bottom, especially if JR gets the ball, because they'll double team JR no matter where he is. You know, John Chaney here, he's not a hypocrite. I used to be a hypocrite. I take a star out like that, and I say, now, I had enough of you. Get down the end of the bench. Then after about a minute and a half, I'd say, did you learn your lesson? Get back in there. Hey, John, stop to be a hypocrite like me. Put him back in there.
Oh, Mark Macon, he's cooling on the Pines. Scott Williams looking for his 8th point.
Soft as church music. Doesn't show any facial expression, but you know he wants to get out there. He's saying to himself, hey, coach, come on, put me in.
Well, they all know who's in charge.
There's no doubt about it.
John Chaney had his team out practicing yesterday morning at 7:30 and again last night. Perry working the baseline. No one challenged him, so it's 30-29, 6 for him.
That's no act. They work out at 7 o'clock in the morning. Last year, I made him Coach of the Year, my hour special. 7 o'clock in the morning, I had to show up at the gym. He bought some what we call monkey bread, he called, and some coffee.
Bucknall rattles it in there. He's really grown as a player, Steve Bucknall. Talking about that last week, to watch a player from a freshman year through his years. Perry finally misses. Madden with a good clear-out rebound. Leading by 3. Here are the Heels. Rice. That's what Dean Smith wants him to do. Shoot more. First points for the freshman from Binghamton, New York.
3.5 minutes left.
Pearsall. Perry. The block and then traveling the call. No, jump ball is the call. Possession goes to Temple. Boy, do we see some action above the rim. Time out. 3:17 to go. making with 2 fouls on the bench.
I'm sorry, Dick, I fell asleep. I did the same thing when I coached. After you got 2 fouls in the first half, we took you out. We protected you after 2. In the second half, we protected you after 3. When you got 4 fouls, we didn't take you out because you played too like a baby out there, too touchy. So I owe an apology to the fans out there in the United States. Coach John has Macon sitting out because he committed 2 personal fouls.
Pearsall inside to Perry. He scores, and he's fouled as Williams thought he was fouled.
Williams backed up a little bit that time. It's a good call by the Zebras.
His second. And the difference, Dean Smith with a deeper bench can go with a player with 2 fouls, where John Chaney can ill afford to have one of his stars, and Macon in particular to get 3 in the first half.
Especially this time of the year. This time of the year, Dean goes probably 8, 9, 10-man rotation. Coach John goes a 6, 7-man rotation. As you get closer to the tournament, your rotations get tighter. Dean will all of a sudden stop down to 7 and 8.
Tim Perry, who leads Temple with 9 points, pulls the Owls within 2. And John Chaney pointing at the other end saying, hey, you called us 5 seconds, and that seemed pretty quick. How about 5 at this end?
He's right at the point there, because if you get the 4, they will not accept the timeout call. And John thought he was at the 4 count.
Let's go back to that 5:30 in the morning practices, and it's so unusual for Temple because I mean, how many schools apply that technique? His thought is, if the kids are up at 5:30, 2 things happen. 1, they're through with practice and have no excuse not to go to reflected. 25 wins, 26 wins, 25 wins, and last year a school record 32 wins, and this year number 1, 21 and 1.
He's an excellent person. He's a gentleman. He's no Buffalo Chips.
Shulcut hawked by Vreeswijk, and Vreeswijk trying to make the steal.
Watch them overplaying Lebo now, because he's the only true offensive threat out there. Fox can do it in the baseline. They'll overplay Lebo.
34-32 North Carolina.
Ranzino should end up being free on the perimeter.
Tie him up. Possession arrow to Carolina. We talked a lot about John Chaney, and it's almost as if we're forgetting about this man, 57-year-old Dean Smith, but he's a Hall of Famer. The basketball world knows about him.
That's Bruce Springsteen.
He's going to be here in a couple of weeks.
That's the boss. I mean, there's no... that's Dean Smith. He's just Dean Smith. Whatever records ever been set, he either set them or was going to break them, one or the other.
You think he'll break Rupp's all-time win record?
If he stays long enough, he will.
Players like that will make him stay. Lebo another 3-pointer. What a play that is for the Tar Heel offense. There's that double team and the turnover. 6 by Pearsall. Out of bounds to North Carolina. Kevin Madden returns for the Tar Heels. Got Williams out. So this is a short Carolina team. Now McGuire said 14 turnovers would be the death knell for Temple. They've committed only 3 in most of this first half. Turned over by North Carolina. Pearsall the save. Howard Evans brings it down. He was the off guard, the shooting guard last year with Nate Blackwell, the Atlantic 10 most valuable player. What a pass to Perry!
Wow, that was a Bob Cousy, Larry Bird, Dick McGuire pass. How to get my brother in there. That's what family's all about.
But he was a great player also.
He was. I don't know what's the matter with that Hall of Fame not putting him in there. Because of me, I think. I talk too much.
Could be. Smith for 3.
Oh, you hurt
little
me
long.
Then.
Evans.
Oh, you just put a javelin to my heart.
Evans brings it down. Trying to tie it. Not there. And Ranzino Smith. Final Final minute of the first half. Carolina by 3.
Wants to put up a little faster to get the ball twice. I put it up before that. Put it up like a
Blocked by Evans. Controlled. No, Evans gets it back. Ranzino to beat. And he misses the layup. That's 2 breakaways that Evans has missed. And now he's slow getting back on defense.
I think they'll take it down for 1 shot now, Dick. Dean's happy with that 3-point lead. Love to go with 5 or 6. But he's happy with the 3. Here we go. 4 corners. Try to spread out. I don't think that Temple will commit. They'll sit back in the zone. They'll be like an owl. Sitting there waiting for the prey. Eyes wide open. Why do I keep thinking potato chips?
You know, and I even understand that. That's what frightens me. I'm starting to understand you. 7-6. You see the clock blocked, and the foul is on Evans.
1-on-1. Where do you see this pass coming up by Evans? Now look at there's such zip on that ball, and Tim is free underneath automatic. Here's another angle. Watch the release. Watch his wrist.
That is an extraordinary talent to make that kind of dish. And Evans gets caught in a block for the foul. And Lebo, a brilliant free throw shooter. Lebo is hitting 86.8%. With that one, he has missed only 8 of 60 all year, and Ranzino's only missed 2 of 40 all year.
He's making the biggest sacrifice of all the players out there because he's true number 2 positions, an off guard, not a point guard. 4 seconds, a lot of time.
Jeff Denny in for North Carolina. Evans, it'll count if it goes, and it's short. The end of the first half. 39-34. North Carolina leads number 1 Temple. The Owls playing without Mark Macon, their sensational freshman guard, for a great portion of the first half. 5 points. Falcons sat out the final 12 minutes. Al McGuire, interesting story about how Macon got from Saginaw, Michigan to Philadelphia and Temple University. We saw Vivian Stringer now coaching in Iowa. She asked for Chaney's inspirational talks on tape and played them to her girls' team in Iowa, then sent them to a friend who coached in Saginaw. That coach then said, Mark Macon, look at this man. He said, I fell in love with Coach Chaney. That's why I went to Temple. Did you ever get a plum like that?
Well, I think everyone needs a certain amount of good luck in their life. I remember once I had a scholarship and one left to give out, and I gave it to a guy and he couldn't take it. He went to another school. I flew into Pittsburgh, bought a guy a 25-cent slice of pizza. And he came. You know what it was?
Oh.
Maurice Lucas.
Boy, is that the best pizza you ever bought?
Oh, that's for 25 cents.
And believe me, he's never bought 1 cent for anybody. It's a 5-point lead for North Carolina at halftime. The second half of action with Shakin' Bacon Macon after we play. That is a new addition. Appeared yesterday. The mascot, the Carolina Ram, got a note from one of the students while we were out on the court at halftime. He said, we, the students of UNSC, would like you to know that we claim no responsibility for that silly mascot. It showed up yesterday. We haven't been able to rid ourselves of it yet. We feel embarrassed this year. It's probably a plot by Duke students to humiliate us.
Well, Dick, I guarantee it is a Duke student because there's no tar on the heel of the Ram.
Now, there are the shooting statistics. 50% for North Carolina. Temple shooting 40%. 3-point shots, 4-2 for Carolina. And the big turnover number that you're watching, Coach, you said 14 and Temple would lose. Well, they committed only 3 mistakes that entire first half.
Well, the big thing, obvious, is the star freshman was on the bench on the Pines for 12 minutes. That's a long time to have your offensive power sitting next to you. As I said earlier, Coach John always saves a ball player in the first half after the second foul.
Now Mark Macon with 2 fouls starts the second half. Temple able to stay within 5 of North Carolina in his absence of 12 minutes. Temple on the throw-in to start the second half. This is Breezewick, Evans, Macon now with the ball. Rivas and Perry on the front line. Macon comes out shooting. Lebo got a piece of it, but Breezewick there to lay it in. 10 for him. Kevin Madden starts for Carolina in the second half with Bucknall, Williams, Reed, and Lebo.
Two-man basketball against the zone.
JR over Perry, hit the side of the board, got it back, and then knocked out of bounds by Temple.
Watch the Sumo Rascals now. Watch Reed and watch Jerome underneath. A lot of pushing and shoving.
Battle of Indiana. The Hoosiers lead by 4 in the first half. The Big Ten Battle of Indiana. Apologies to Digger's crew at Notre Dame.
Well, that's at Purdue, West Lafayette.
Running the show. Carlisle, Pennsylvania. His dad was his high school coach, and they're 22-0 this year at Carlisle. Bucknall not there. Reed can't tip her. It was Williams, and Williams keeping it alive, and Grieswick touched it last for Temple.
And we got a new shot clock.
We had someone check with Coach John Chaney why indeed did Macon sit out the 12 minutes. Was it more than the 2 fouls? What was his answer, Coach?
2 fouls. It keeps the ball players out. I'm sorry I missed it. I'm really embarrassed about it.
And Chaney said, regardless.
Of who it is. In the first half, you had the rotation. North Carolina used 10. Temple used 7.
Boy, quick hands in there, and Macon was the one who knocked it free for a moment, and Grieswick picks it up from William. No, it's Rivas who got the loose ball. Trailing by 3, Temple. Grieswick for 3. Still hasn't hit that shot. Williams with a rebound.
Williams come up with kind of a sprain, I think, that time coming down. Scott Williams. I think you'll see a trainer come over or take Williams out.
J.R. Reed comes over to help his teammate. So Williams sits down. There's Reed, who led all rebounders with 9. They're looking at the right knee of Scott Williams. Keith Chilcott has replaced him.
Nice pick down low for Madden.
No. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Reed surrounded.
Look at the 4 guys around him.
And he loses the ball, but that's Chilcott who picks it up. Right back to JR. And a foul on Grieswick. They thought they had the ball.
John Chaney's up and he's doing his dance on the side of the bench there. Dean saying, good call. Good call.
Watch out, John Chaney. He's close to getting a technical.
John is close to a technical.
I didn't see the foul, but it was from long range, and John Chaney didn't like the call. You can understand that. And there's the makeup, 5 seconds.
Yep, 5-second count, closely guarded for 5 seconds without using your dribble. That's a turnover. Take a deep breath, John. Dean's up. Dean's starting to work hard now, too. They're both getting into the ball game.
Turnovers, 13 for Carolina, 3 for Temple.
Should be good.
Macon, a 3-pointer to tie it.
When he's alone, it's automatic.
So Temple scores the first 5 points of the second half.
Tough D down low. Favorite Reed. Also
stolen by Macon. Oh, was he waiting? Mark Macon.
No facial expression, just plays basketball.
So 7 unanswered points for the Owls to start the second half. We're hooking into it, Vandy.
Look,
knocked
here we go
away by
again.
Evans.
Evans will make this one. He missed the last 2.
His third breakaway, and it's 9 consecutive points for Temple to start the second half.
Right now, they will try to get to JR. They will try to get the ball inside. I think Madden should shoot from the outside, but they'll look to get it inside to JR, in my opinion. They'll overplay Lebo. Here it goes.
Reed.
Oh, no. He might have got him early, but Tim Perry pushed him the second time. So, it's all according when the ref caught it. Dean's very upset in that call. It's not a new dance. He's saying, hey, too much body. I agree with Dean on that one.
And the Dean Dome with a major groan.
Oh!
4-point lead, Temple. It's been all Owls to start the second half. That's when the Owls usually work best, right? The latter half of the day. Rieswick for three, finally gets it.
You're in trouble now, Carolina. He gets out of the gate, that fella. Then you got a problem.
They had a 12-point run in the first half, and they start the second half with 12 unanswered points, the Owls of Temple, and they lead by their biggest margin, 7.
They got to go back to their starting team. They got to get Smith back in there and Scott Williams.
Reed can't get by Rivas. Madden from the side, won't drop. Foul on Chilcutt of North Carolina.
Yeah, Peter got in his back, but the Tim Clyde, nice and soft off the boards.
And look at Dean Smith, hardly a smile, unhappy with the way things are going, and a lot of that due to the talent of Temple. On 39, that's what they had at halftime, while Temple has scored 12 in a row to take the lead, 46-39. Here's two of them by Mark Macon on the steal.
He kind of dumps the ball and he throws it down. No effort, all silk.
He is 6'5". He was Mr. Michigan basketball at Saginaw Buena Vista High School. And what a gift for Cheney and Temple. He called Cheney. They didn't recruit him. Temple's ball. And for North Carolina at home, a drought of 4 minutes and 15 seconds without a point to start this second half.
Double stack low, setting up for Macon to come around. Double pick, here he comes.
Ooh, Macon did save. Inside to Perry over Reed. Tim Perry quick off his feet. 14 points in a row.
Ever press zone, matchup zone, overplaying Jeff as much as possible.
That was deflected by Rivas to North Carolina. One thing we can say for certain, seeing them for the first time, John Cheney's Owls, you can see why they're number one. The 5 players on the floor. This is an outstanding team.
And they govern tempo. He had to break out of the box early to force him out of the zone.
Almost 5 minutes. North Carolina has not scored in the second half.
JR, you better move down low. They need you down low. There should be 3.
Lebo does not end the drought, and Perry in the crowd takes the top apple. 14:45 left in the game. North Carolina has been outscored 14-0 in the second half. Rieswick wants it. Does he get it? You bet. 3-pointer. When did you think you would see a run like that against Carolina at home? 17 unanswered points. And a push underneath Perry of Temple.
Limited amount of bench. They got to be very careful how they shotgun their fouls around. Temple has to keep their ball players eligible. Good move that Dean Smith just made, moving in Rice. A little more ball handling to free up Jeff Lebo for some perimeter shooting. Also, he'll punch the ball down to J.R. Reed.
Great defense, and it's a turnover again if Evans can save it, and he does. Oh, how many steals does he have? He has to have at least 5 or 6. Rieswick for 3. Oh, Bucknall. If that had dropped, it had been 20 points in a row. King David Rice. Bucknall over Rivas, and a miss by Williams on the jam, and last touch by North Carolina.
Just getting all those little tough breaks, the Tar Heels. Just can't get on the streak.
The game can be so unkind, even to the very best. 0 for 7, Carolina shooting in the second half.
When you're on the drought, I always wanted my team on the drought to get onto the foul line. At least get on the board, get off the snide. You break it down.
Macon, what a move.
You break it down. He's what you call a breakdown player. He can score one-on-one. That's why they isolate him on one side.
unanswered points.
I would get to a timeout, and maybe teams waiting for the commercial timeout, just kind of regroup.
Rice, Lebo, he hits it and he's fouled. A three-pointer, and it comes with 6 minutes and 38 seconds consumed in this second half. It took them that long to score, and it looks like they might get a 4-point play.
It came because of Dean Smith's move of putting Rice in there, which loosened up Lebo. As I said 3 times today, Lebo is playing out of position. It's not his fault, but Coach Smith's fault. It's just that they don't have the true point guard. Rice is a true point guard, but doesn't have the playing time or experience. He's only a freshman.
Well, we haven't seen a 4-point play all year, and there it is.
Now they'd love to turn it over here and get a run going. They will double team at half court. Oh, I'm surprised. Spread them out nice.
And here's the patience of John Chaney's team trying to quiet the crowd, playing a disciplined game, not hurrying the shot. Don't let the crowd rattle you.
Macon knows how to use down picks. Flip him around to the left side now. Get the ball.
Breathwick, not there for 3. Rice, the little man, to Lebo for 3. Breathwick clears. 12:35 remaining in the game.
Now watch the offensive set here. 4 guys will go down low. Macon will come off a double pick down low. Now he'll isolate. He'll go back down low again and come off the pick again.
Inside to Rivas. He dribbled it off his toe, saves it, and then it's knocked out of bounds by Scott Williams.
Ramon, I don't think John wanted you to take that shot.
He's saying why? Turnovers. 18-3. Remarkable statistic.
But you're looking at Secretariat when you're looking at North Carolina.
They're down by 10 at home, but 12 minutes to go.
Yeah. They've been there many times before, and they
5 seconds.
Supposed to be a combination. It's 5 seconds after you start your dribble. You're allowed to catch the ball, hold it for 5 seconds, then dribble for 5 seconds.
Time out. 12 to go. This is the end of the last action and a timeout, and Coach John Chaney staring at Dick Paparo for the 5-second call, and he held that stare for 1 minute. 1 minute he looked at him.
Matter of fact, it's over a minute, Dick, because this is a commercial timeout and it's 90 seconds. He was trying to catch Dick Paparo's eye. He's what we call in the neighborhood, he's eyeballing. What the problem was is that you're allowed to hold the ball for 5 seconds closely guarded, then you're allowed to dribble for 5 seconds closely guarded.
And he felt he got a short count.
I don't know who was right or wrong, but that's the rule. And this man, hey, you don't frighten this guy. This guy's a tough guy up there in Syracuse. He's one of the top officials in the business.
Dick Paparo who made the call.
He's been around. That's why he has this game. These 3 guys are superstars in Zebras.
Sounds silly.
Well, it is. I said it. Here's the zone. Overplay Lebo. Rice get the attention, then he can hit Lebo.
Rick Fox to King Rice, one freshman to another.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Lebo not there. Mark Macon at 6'5" gets the rebound.
Well coached, but didn't work. Now back to the flip side where Macon will go down low and come around double pick. Here he comes.
Oh, last touch by Macon. What a play by Fox. Hustle by the freshman.
There's Macon breaking out behind the pick. Now here's a dive for the ball by Fox. The last guy that did touch it was Mark Macon, in my opinion, also. Dick Paparo made that call. He doesn't tighten up.
Yeah, you would have had trouble influencing him.
No, you don't influence. You might have been wrong, but you don't influence. expect out of referee is consistency.
Williams travel.
Yeah, he took a walk on the boardwalk. It doesn't make any difference if a referee is inconsistent, as long as they are consistent. I mean, you can be incompetent. You can be consistently incompetent.
At least you know what you're going to get. Yeah. Look at that. 1 for 10 shooting for Carolina at home in the second half. Here comes Ranzino Smith.
That's the one I think that will turn it. Ranzino Smith should be able to get Carolina going. Don't ask me why. He's not a super ball player. He's mature. He gives 110%. And for some reason, during crunch time, he gets the job done.
He's an excellent three-point shooter. On the sidelines, Macon on the dribble. There's a turnover against Temple. Rare as that statistic is for the Owls.
Wow, we still got 10 minutes and 44 seconds left.
Sixth turnover. Whoops. A turnover right back as Rice, the man he wanted to pass to, was covered. Coach, it has not been a physical game, but yesterday 2 games erupted in brutal fights, and something that college basketball has to concern itself with.
We got to be careful. 2 terrible things happened this weekend. Those private plane crashes, and there's too much fighting in college basketball. And we're going to have some type of fatality unless we stop these fights in college basketball.
Well, how do you stop it, though?
You can stop it by penalizing anyone that moves off the bench, put them off out of the games for the next 2 weeks. Anyone that has a fight on the court is out the next 2 games. I'm not afraid too much of the bench or the court. I'm afraid of the fans. All of a sudden, we're going to have an avalanche that we'll not be able to contain, and we're going to have some type of serious injuries. Fighting does not belong in college basketball.
And that comes from a man who had more than his share as a player. You used to get in a few rumbles.
Oh, right? Yes, I was a dead-end kid. I was, blue-collar work, pushing and shoving. I was a defensive ball player. Most defensive teams have more fisticuffs than another one because you annoy the offensive player.
Breeswick hits the deuce, and it's a 12-point lead with 10:27 to go. 18 points for Breeswick, who had only 9 against Penn State. Earlier in the week, Macon got 26 of the 50 scored by Temple in that game. There's Breeswick with a steal and a foul on Fox. That is an aggressive matchup zone. You know, it reminds me in its effectiveness, Al McGuire, of the 79 matchup zone that Judd Heathcote used with Michigan State.
They have a special K and obviously magic. They ended up blowing out Larry Bird's Indiana State in the finals out at Utah, Salt Lake City.
Macon with a move, left Fox in the waiting and can't hit the jumper. The midpoint of the second 20-minute period. Carolina at home trailing by 12. King Rice, a three-pointer.
That's what they want. They want him to shoot.
Rice, who has only 35 points in 25 games, has 5 today. Macon, Breeswick left alone for 3. That's his shot. He loves the corner.
JR made a mistake, came out too far from the baseline. We're going to give you a quiz for the next 10 minutes. Get a pencil. I want you to write down the 10 teams that belong to the Atlantic 10.
Temple University is one of them.
So name the other 9. I bet you can't do it.
Outstanding basketball talent. Reed over Rivas. JR. 8 points for him, a 10-point lead for Temple. We'll tell you one of the other teams, West Virginia, because Temple has to play them twice next week, Tuesday night at Morgantown. A foul away from the ball. Rivas or Reed were bumping underneath.
You can call it either way. It's all according to what angle you have.
It's on number 21, I believe, King Rice. It is Rice.
When in doubt, call it on the small guy.
Kevin Madden returns, and Scott Williams goes out.
Now they got 3 shooters from the perimeter, North Carolina.
Inside, Breeswick trying to hit Macon, and there's Evans with a steal.
The ever-present Evans.
Mark Macon coolly rocks it home.
You're not a freshman, son. There's no way you're a freshman, Macon.
13 points for Macon, so he's been in double figures every Temple game. 18 years old, Mark Macon. Bucknell shot. Gets it back. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Carolina. Dean Smith saying they're using their body. They're not hitting with their hands, but Temple is fouling with the body.
One guy is, I guarantee Ramon is.
Macon takes it to the hole. He has as quick a big first step as there is in the game, college game.
I spoke to Jerry West before the game, and he says, hey, that is one of the best freshmen I've ever seen in my life.
And there's a timeout, Dean Smith. That's a compliment. Smith called time. 8:10 to go. We'll be back at Chapel Hill after these words from your 11-year-old B. Basketball?
I think it was the owl that sent the letter to the coach. He slithers in, all individual.
He is a highlight package. He's got a run now, making 15 points, 11 here in the second half.
And sat out 12 minutes in the first half.
14-point lead for Temple. And now we'll see just how good Carolina is at home. They really got to put it on. And Lebo can't start it, but Bucknall saves it.
Down to Lebo again. He'll hit it.
Oh, nice fake. Ramzino, that's your man.
I told you, the guy's unbelievable. You talk about Ramzino Smith.
He's a senior. Nearby Durham. Three-pointer, and Evans is hurt. He's holding his right side as he came in with a dribble. He was wincing in pain.
In this game, they're going to play with little pains. As Vince Lombardi says, you play with little hurts.
Third in the nation in dishing off the ball. Craig Neal at Georgia Tech, he's right in the hunt there as well. He had something like 14 in Georgia Tech's win last night at North Carolina State. Macon in heavy duty, but Perry, I don't know if that was a pass, but it certainly proved to work well for Temple.
I don't know if it's a set play or not. It could have been, but I doubt it.
He was so far off on the shot, it looked to be almost a pass. 15 for Perry. 13-point lead. Bucknall, fine drive. Lebo tips. J.R.
Sound like we're talking about Dallas now, Dick.
10 for Reed. 7 to go. Ooh, a near steal by Williams. Evans for three. This is an outstanding team we're watching. Temple University is up now 66-53. That was a two-pointer. J.R. loses the ball, and Ramzino, oh, that's a tough call. All double dribble against Ramzino in the recovery.
That turnover was really created by J.R. He tried to do a 360 in the paint, and that's not for this particular game.
He's not Brian Boitano.
Whoever Brian Boitano.
You don't know who he is, really.
No.
We'll put him in the Atlantic 10 quiz. I'll tell you later. Rebound. Macon, open man, Breezewick. They work the three-pointer. They call him Threeswick in Philadelphia when he gets hot.
Well, they got the three guys from the perimeter, so you can't double team. They're going to get a three-pointer.
North Carolina's lost only twice in this building, the Dean Dome, and they were both very close games. Maryland, Len Bias team, and then Duke earlier this year. And there's Perry knocking it away. No one has come into Chapel Hill for a long time and embarrassed the Dean Smith team. And at this point, the Owls are close.
Well, they've got to pretty much now go to full court, man-to-man pressure. Just hope for some turnovers. Then look for the hot hand from three-point range.
Smith is out, and King Rice has replaced him. In the hole to Reed over Perry. Perry's done a good job defensively, and Rick Fox, the freshman, converts. He has his first point.
Defensive call has to be a double team. Here it comes. Fox is faking coming. Here no, he's not coming. Here's the double team. They handle it.
They worked on that in practice yesterday morning at 7:30. And be patient and have Macon work to the ball. Be aggressive, Cheney was saying. When they double team Evans, you come to the ball and take it to the hole if you can.
Now here's a 5-count. Now once he dribbles, he has another 5-count. 1,002, 1,002.
Macon.
Not a good shot, but he was fouled on it. He forced that one.
Yeah, he shoots the ball going away from his shooting hand, going left so well, Coach.
But one of the big things he has is body control. The great athletes have that. The great athletes can score after they kill their dribble.
He doesn't have just body control. He has a mental control. Did you watch how he warmed up before the game? He was taking 10-foot shots in the lane, one after the other. He wasn't shooting all the wild shots. He must have shot 40, 50 shots just 10 feet from the basket. And it's part of his whole meditation is that he really gets his focus into the game.
He gets tunnel vision. The same way in the bus, going to the game. They don't talk in the bus. No talking.
That's right. The bus was on fire once, and everyone's afraid to say anything. And Chaney didn't notice it.
I wouldn't take it to that extreme.
No, that's what happened, though. King Rice for 3. Macon with a rebound. And Carolina getting only one shot.
Macon also pushed off that time against Scott. Starting to work the clock a little bit to spread out more.
Evans against the freshman Rice. Back to Macon, the Temple freshman. Can't hit. Rebound Reed. He had 9 in the first half. Knocked away.
That was knocked away by Rivas.
They have not turned the ball over, Temple. In the meantime, they've created so many turnovers. Look at that statistic. 24-7 in turnovers. Perry, he travels, no basket.
I think that Temple has to seriously think going this early, which is a hard decision to make, what we call a B pattern. That means every time down, you work the clock. Carolina, any fouls they commit, it's 1-1.
And remember this, in the second half they've shown it. Temple, the best field goal percentage defense in the nation. And they've really cooled down Carolina. Three-pointer Lebo. And it's his shooting that can keep the Tar Heels in the hope. 71-58. Lebo leads with 18.
Let's see if they milk that clock this time. I think they will.
There's the double team and the throw to Macon, who volleyballs it to Breezewick, who leads Temple with 24 points.
Spread out. Trying not to cross. If they don't cross, that means what we call a delay. They're spreading away from one another. No crossing.
Macon, no basket. They call traveling on Macon.
John's upset about the traveling call.
It's 2 in a row. 2 baskets lost by Temple because of the whistle. Traveling. Timeout. There's the Atlantic 10. Temple, Rhode Island, West Virginia, Penn State, St. Joe's, St. Bonaventure, Duquesne, George Washington, Massachusetts, and Rutgers. I saved you, didn't I? I was going to ask you today.
I tell you, one of the things, they're threatening the Big East a little bit. The state of Rhode Island, I think that Rhode Island this year is better than Providence. So they're on the come. They're looking for a TV package, and they're tickled pink. The commissioner come up to me before the game. They'll say, hey, no advertising, no advertising.
Temple's a fine team. Of course, they're leading the way. And there's more to this than just number 1 against number 5. The seeding in the East could be critical because many have questioned Temple's schedule.
I think that this game will determine who will be seeded number 1. Now, Duke could move in there, obviously, and be seeded number 1. But as of today, if Temple wins, they'll be seeded number 1. That first round is played right here.
We have Duke and North Carolina in 2 weeks over at Durham. Second half scoring, Temple outscoring North Carolina 37-19. Remember, they scored the first 19 points of the second half. Ramzino, they need the 3. And there's number 33 to get them the home run. It's down to a 10-point game.
Too much hands on the Buckdog.
And Mark Macon is fouled, and that puts Temple into the bonus. Meanwhile, the Owls have committed only 3 fouls in the second half.
Let's get a camera down court. You'll notice that the 4 ball players for the Owls are down court. There'll be nobody on the foul line. He doesn't want Carolina to break off a made or missed foul shot. There's nobody there.
Except Mark Macon.
That's all you need, I guess.
That's really unusual, right? This is primarily because he has the 10-point lead.
No, he does it a lot, Dick. It's just a style because of a team that breaks off a made foul shot by the opponent.
Macon now with 19 points. Lebo with a three. Reed saves, but Evans is there for Temple. And they're fouling immediately, and John Chaney wanted an intentional foul.
Well, he didn't really want it then. He makes believe he wants it then.
He's arguing for the next one.
Yeah, he's just planting the seed. I guarantee he'll work hard in this. He'll cross his hands. When you cross your hands at the wrist, that means an intentional foul, 2 shots. Now, he'll be working that for the next minute or two, planting the seed in these refs' minds. Hey, intentional foul. The clock's not moving. I want the clock to move. Steve wants to stop the clock. They got to be fouling intentionally.
You saw the three-point shooters for North Carolina, and they've got 2 excellent ones. Ranzino's better than the numbers. Evans, and of course, critical for Carolina to come back is for Temple to not be successful at the free throw line. But here's their best shooter, nearly 83% on the season. Evans looking for his 11th point of the game.
No team reaches the Final Four with atrocious foul shooting. Mark that as a tip from the top.
Reed, and it's stolen by Vreeswijk. Another Temple steal. It has been a very impressive show at both ends of the court for John Chaney's Temple team.
Break out the steak sandwiches and the soft pretzels. Got to wait another minute and a half, but it's too early to break them out, Philadelphia. Don't reach the cool one.
Madden, another three-point shooter, comes in, and Reed goes out. So Dean Smith now has his 3 best outside shooters, Madden, Lebo, and Ranzino Smith in the game.
You want to see the best at working the clock, Dean Smith, the best in the business. These next 2.5, 3 minutes are going to seem like an hour.
And he's got a lot of fouls to give on that bench. But will Temple miss? Here's Macon. He's shooting 76% from the line. Boy, he brings the memories of those great Temple guards, Guy Rogers and Hal Lear of the 50s. Fox for 3. Oh, he knocks it in.
Quick timeout, stop the clock. One of the assistant coaches on the bench for Temple, Jay Norman. He was the garbage man for that club. He was the guy that got the rebound.
75-64 and a timeout. College basketball from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, being brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Everything else is just a light. And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. We talked about the steals of John Chaney's Owls and their quick hands. 9-3. It seems even greater than that.
What's going to happen now? He has 4 timeouts left. So any traps you might see intentional timeouts called. North Carolina has 1 timeout left. And the arrow favors the Tar Heels.
And the quick foul committed by King Rice. 2:34 left. So they put the pressure on. They're going to make you win it at the free throw line. Or at least secure it. At this point, it's an 11-point game, Temple. And Dean Smith, with each change, with each foul, gets the shooters in or brings in the big men.
John Chaney trying to say, hey, they're intentional fouls. Let's cross those wrists. Let's get the call, the 2-shot foul, and Temple fall out.
Perry, obviously the man you'd like to foul, but he won't touch the ball much. And this big guy, Ramon Rivas, is not a bad free throw shooter. 76%.
I had a great ball play from Puerto Rico. Butch Lee. Ooh. Gets the job done, plays within his capabilities, doesn't do anything fancy, no French pastry.
From Puerto Rico, Carolina, Puerto Rico is his own. Oh, he hit those softly.
Yeah, all net.
So the pressure of this game, at 6 straight hit by Temple. Ranzino. Evans loses it to Ranzino and out of bounds to Carolina.
North Carolina always prepared. The clock doesn't start till you touch the ball. The ball is thrown all the way up the half court. Everything is drilled, every occasion. Whoop. No, that's illegal. Illegal. It hung in the air. It came down.
And another North Carolina turnover. There are 26 of the game, 8 committed by Temple. That's just a staggering statistic. 26 turnovers to 8. When you're talking about two of the top 5 teams in the nation. Evans, or he's just that typical Philadelphia guy.
Can't catch him. He's a PT boat when he starts moving around, a water bug.
Every second precious to North Carolina. They trail by 13. And a foul. Rick Fox down the wrist.
The strange color of cherry in their uniform, wanting their moment in the sun. Wanting to be known from coast to coast. They almost got that against UNLV earlier in the season, but were nipped at the wire.
By 1, 59-58 at Las Vegas. This is their second toughest test, and we've got an interesting pugilistic examination coming up. John Munduga against Darren Van Horn. Van Horn's that student at the University of Kentucky. Delightful young man. That'll be interesting to follow us here. And it's just lock up the Cupid Owls. Temple's going to take them all home, right? They have not missed down the wire from the free throw line.
That Van Horn fighter belongs to Sigma Chi, the same fraternity that Coach Eddie Sutton belongs to.
Evans gets 2 more for Temple.
There's the clock doesn't start, he touches the ball. Good hands by Evans, the always active Evans.
In case you're wondering, free throw 16 for 19 now for Temple in the game. Traveling on Lebo, and Macon's defense forced him to shuffle. First, in fairness to Lebo, he was trying to get himself in position for a three-pointer. He didn't want to go inside for 2.
Again, you'll notice that Carolina will do everything that they practice at. This clock will take forever to tick off the next 1 minute and 51 seconds. There's the turnover. Now they go for the three-point shot. Take it out, up it goes.
Madden. Rieslick. And this 5 for Temple has played the entire second half. No substitutions. Dean Smith has been busy going to the bench.
Well, you can do that a little bit easier, Dick, when you play in the zone on defense. They can rest during defense.
Evans and Macon here in front of us give each other a little light hug. You know, Chaney won't allow any of the high fives and the gestures and all of his team. He says, I'll do all of that. It's a team without emotion on the court.
You know what? He coaches under winning. Anybody can coach under losing. You got to be a Barracuda under winning. That's how you become a winner. You learn by it.
He named you as one of his 3 favorite coaches, John Wooden and Pete Carrill. He says those are the 3. He says they all fighters like me, and they kept the game simple, and they often won without the best talent.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
So quick hands to Macon. And it's Rivas who picks up the ball and is fouled by Fox.
Fox tried to get around that body. Hey, Wilt Chamberlain couldn't get around that body, Fox. He's just too wide of a body.
Yeah, you need a chalk to make sure you went around a full turn. Mark your spot.
That was Hokie Carmichael used to sing that song.
Hugging in the chalk.
Hey, we're perking here, aren't we?
I got 81-64. In some ways, for these Carolina fans, this is stunning. And now, Dean Smith has said uncle. He's brought in his blue team, 5 reserves who rarely play, acknowledging the fact that Temple has won.
Nice play, Dean. That was a nice play. Dean could have drawn it out. Dean's a pro. Dean's team hasn't peaked this year, so watch out in March. They have not peaked. They haven't got publicity of the years. They haven't had the monkey on their back that they used to.
First 19 points of the second half scored by Temple, and that certainly was the game. As Carolina led by 5 at halftime, only to find Temple flawless in the first 7 minutes of the second half, while Carolina could not score.
Coach Chaney still has a little fear. He'll wait another 15, 20 seconds.
Jeff Denny, a sophomore from Rural Hall, North Carolina, gets 2.
Once it gets under a minute, I feel John Chaney will take out his troops.
Denny commits the foul. It's interesting, even now that they know, Temple knows that they have this game won, you don't see, I'm looking for some sign that they recognize how big this win is. They'll go 22-1, and no doubt about who is number 1. here in mid-February.
They know it, but they won't do it in front of the coach. Dean knows. Dean's saying to himself probably right now, this could be a blessing. You know, this could retool this club. Get them off their high horse.
Another steal by Macon. Well, he's all that we have heard and read. And here's Chaney fighting to the final second with 57 ticks left on the clock. Now, Temple has a tough go. They have to leave here and go to West Virginia. And all those who have visited Morgantown know that's no easy trip.
That would be a very, very tough ball game. It is every year for them.
North Carolina has a big one against Duke. At Duke in 2 weeks. We'll have that for you on NBC. See Duke and Georgia Tech next week. Perry with a jam, left alone. And when you look at this score in the Monday morning paper, a lot of eyebrows will be raised. Perry dying.
That was a great game, but it wasn't an exciting college game. He was the score, and it just was so well executed.
Well, you had the sense that this was a true preview of what is coming in March. It had all the tournament quality, intensity and talent, and the importance for both teams, no matter how much they deny.
Also, what comes in March is Al McGuire's Hour Special on Easter Sunday. Remember it.
And there it is. Temple 83, North Carolina 66. Number one, indeed, is Temple from Philadelphia. And John Chaney's team with a remarkable start of the second half, 19 unanswered points, and Mark Macon, number one freshman in the country. Check his birth certificate. We'll get a chance to visit with Chuck. Well, the Temple fans stay and celebrate as they beat North Carolina 83-66. They were led by Mike Breeswick with 26. Mark Macon finished with 19. 17 for Perry, 13 for Evans, and many steals. And North Carolina, 18, Jeff Lebo to lead the Tar Heels, only 10 for J.R. Reed. Our thanks to Elliot Kalb, Dr. Dennis Henberg, the statistics, Michael Weissman, our executive producer, coordinating producer of today's game, director George Finkel, telecast of today's game produced by Ricky Diamond, technical director Steve Semino. Don't forget, coming up, NBC Sports World, 10 rounds, junior middleweight fight, John